Satisfy is the largest global sexual wellness brand. So tell us about this role.
Yeah, so as you said, Satisfyers, it's an award-winning sexual wellness brand. And basically, I came on board as someone that can kind of bridge that sexual, sensual, embodied education to understanding our large, vast range of products. Because, basically, especially in the West, I don't know exactly what it's like everywhere, but our sex education is pretty abysmal. And so I basically just help to fill in the gaps of where people don't necessarily understand their bodies. And particularly women, we're not taught at all about our clitoris and how it connects into the body, and how integral it is to our sexual experience. So I basically help to offer an awareness on how to use the products in particular, not just through where to put it, where to touch, but also how to connect from the inside out to help unlock that erotic experience. And it really first started with our most famous product that we have is called the Satisfier Pro 2, which is, of course, an air pulse stimulator. And it basically connects to the body through indirect pressure waves, and it stimulates the clitoral glands. And when I first tried this, product out, it was just mind blowing. I mean, I would say, my first tantric orgasm with a sexual wellness product of my life. And, my first orgasm with the product was like screaming yes, and just, wanted to share it with everyone. And so that's really when I approached the company. I had already been doing a lot of work within the sexual wellness world in relationship to lifestyle practices. And so, we made a connection with that. And now I basically work full time, within the company, and helping people to understand the full range of products, and also just helping to bust sexual myths, try to release some of the sexual stigmas and shame. Becomes really important. And you know this, that you're a voice for this, to be able to share with people that there's nothing to be ashamed of, and to be able to talk openly and honestly about sexuality without that feeling of stigma and shame. It gives people permission to really open up and want to learn more.
Definitely, because I find that sometimes when people buy a sex toy, it's like signing up for the gym. You can get your gym membership, but you've got to do the work. So I think
Yeah.
part of that it's like bridging that gap between just buying something and actually being able to enjoy it, because not everyone can connect the dots so easily. It does take a bit of education. I do, for me, after my rabbit vibrator broke, I realized it really was about a mind-body connection, which is not so evident for many women, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, even the way we talk about, sexuality, we talk about the G spot, and we think about it as like this sort of button or this point or the clit, but it really, all of that sexual energy is connected to the entire body. And so as we learn how to really relax into being fully embodied sensual beings, we can get any kind of stimulation, like you were saying, through the ankles or through the ear. And there are about 10% of women, for instance, who are orgasmic just by thinking alone. So we have this incredible capacity to unlock not just orgasm, but just, the capacity to feel and to really embrace and love ourselves through sensual touch. And it does require some learning. I wouldn't say that there's aspects to it, of course, that are intuitive, but just like learning anything, you can get better with it. You can learn how to, access more of that energy through different kinds of tools, different forms of touch, exploring maybe a particular erotic desire or context, or perhaps it's creating the ambiance. Learning about our sensual selves is something that will continue to evolve throughout our lifetimes, and why not get as many tools as you can to really access, that energy.
Yeah, I always feel like even though I kind of know a lot, I always love to surprise myself and find new things, you know? I just
Yeah.
find it fascinating. And I like to realize that I don't know everything. I find that really, really sexy. I actually have one of these Pro 2s here.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, speaking of erotic plasticity, and one of my friends who watches, I went to a sex shop recently with a group of friends. They all went to buy the Satisfyer Pro 2, and one of the girls in the group was saying that she watches this real life couple who have porn, who do porn together on some webcam or something. And the girl at the end, she always has to get this out to finish off.